Do you or a loved one... I got nothing. I made a Bop It that insults you. That's the intro. I originally had this idea back in 2020, like peak COVID times, because like how else do you stay entertained other than building a Bop It that would make you feel terrible about yourself? And I named it the Not Safe for Work Bop It. That's a mouthful. And longtime viewers of the channel will know that I actually made a video on it. But I hated the way it came out. Hated it. Terrible. Oh my god, it was bad.
Well, have I got the product for you. Introducing the Not Safe for Work Bop It.
Ew, yucky. Trust me, that is more than enough of that. The program in itself wasn't bad. It kind of was, but I hated the way I presented it. So recently I decided to recreate the program and make it what it should have been. And since that video was made, I've been through 2.5 years of college as a computer science major. I know, right? The original program is super small, and I unintentionally released almost all the source code in the actual video, and so I thought this new program shouldn't take too long. I'll just rewatch the original video, copy all the source code, and start from there. But when I tell you, the original source code was illegible. I spent like 2 hours going through my video trying to understand what each variable meant, how it worked, and nothing made sense. I don't even know how it worked. It was like a card being held together by rubber bands. It was so disorganized and ugly. So I scrapped the salvage operation and started from scratch. The original program was made in C#, and I used that same language to create the new one. I know I sound like the biggest nerd right here, but C# is my favorite language. So my first goal was just to recreate the program and make it how it was when I left off. You know, create like the bare necessities and the bare functionality of it. And this first process took me around a week to do, which really isn't too bad. There were a few hiccups here and there that were painfully awful, but besides that, it was fine. And then, voila! I know it doesn't look good, but I'm in college for computer science, okay, not graphic design. With over 1,000 lines of code, this thing runs beautifully. So much better than the previous one. Now I wanted to give it a unique and catchy name. And my original idea was Bitty, the Bop It that insults you. But then I realized that I probably can't use the name Bop It, because it's probably copyrighted, so I have to use something else. So now introducing TITIY, the Tap It that insults you. So the joke here is that it kind of sounds like believe it or not, this name wasn't even intentional. I just love Bitty and I wanted to do something around that, and the only synonym to bop I could think of is tap. And it wasn't until I created the name that I found out that it has multiple purposes. Now we all know the cliche voice that goes along with Bop It, right? And I wanted to make some equally funny but also equally memorable voice. But the issue here is that I'm a simple man with lackluster vocal cords. And there's really only 2 voices I can do. I can either do a pick-me boy, or I can do a Duke Nukem voice. I think we're on the same page. I think we both know which one we want. And no, I'm not doing a pick-me boy voice for this thing. And so I grabbed a voice changer, I put a retro old school filter on it, and I recorded 11 voice lines of the game. And my game works the same way that every very similar game to it works. All you do is press tap it, okay, to start. And I'm on a green screen, so I can't actually see where the button is, so just bear with me. Editor Trevor's gonna have a horrible time editing this. And once you press tap it, the game will generate a random number between 1 and 5 for each of the 5 buttons. And the game will play a voice line telling you which button to press, and your job is to press it as fast as you can. And these 5 buttons are tap it, twist it, pull it, spin it, and flick it. And you have a set interval to press each button. But here's the catch. After you press each consecutive button, your time limit is decreased by 2 milliseconds. The time limit starts off at 4.1 seconds, which is a hell of a long time for this. But in the grand scheme of things, it decreases very fast. And so it's very easy at the start, but gets more and more hectic the more you go. But I was nice enough to stop the decreasing at 0.9 seconds, meaning you'll have some chance of survival. And every correct button click adds 1 to your score. And this score is stored locally, meaning that if you close and reopen the game, your high score will still stay. But once you inevitably mess up because you're a loser, the game will generate a random number between 1 and 4, and each number is assigned to a corresponding insult, because it wouldn't be a true tap it game if it didn't insult you. And to get the true tap it experience, if the game is left idle for too long, it will insult you and then close itself automatically. Now you're probably thinking it's boring, it's static, nothing changes, it's the same thing every time. Well, you're wrong, and you're stupid, and I hate you, because I've only shown you half of the game. You see, this is the part where my not safe for work Bop It ended. There was nothing else to it. But this is TITIY, goddammit. Titties have no limits. I want to make this program unique, special, and most of all, customizable. And so I added the ability for each user to import their own sounds, their own sound effects, their own voice lines, anything, with whatever they want. And this seemed like a relatively simple task, but it actually tripled the development cycle and doubled the amount of code. But it worked. There are 16 total sound effects in the game, and you can customize every single one. You can record your own voice lines. You can find voice lines online. You don't have to use voice lines at all if you don't want to. Whatever you want the sound to be, it will be. Whoa, Trevor, that's cool and all, but what if the sound that I choose is longer or shorter than the original one? Wouldn't that mess with the pacing of the game? Wrong again, stupid. This was my biggest concern when I thought of the customization idea. But after lots and lots of trial and error, I found a workaround. When you upload your own sound file, my game will scan that file to find the exact duration of that sound down to the last millisecond. And not only that, but my game will automatically and dynamically change the pacing of the game to work around that sound. That's right, the game will automatically change itself by itself to accommodate for any duration of sound. And in case you couldn't tell, this is the feature that I am most proud of. And if you ever want to change one sound or all the sounds back to originals, there's buttons for all that. Now, if you've noticed throughout this video, I've been talking in the second person. Second person means that you're the subject. But why am I doing that? You can't actually play the game yourself, right? How dumb do you think I am? The game is out for free on GitHub. The link will be in the description or somewhere on the screen that I choose to put it. The files you will download are just the game files because I haven't released the source code yet. But once I'm done with the game and I think it's in a stable state, I will probably then release the source code. And so why keep it private forever if we can make it open source? I spent weeks making this thing and I want to make it public the way it should have been the first time. So you can download it, play it, change the sounds, change the pacing, have a good time, all for free. And I think it should be compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux. And the instructions on how to download it and play it are also on GitHub. And even though this is such a small game, I feel like there's gonna be tons of bugs and glitches that people find. And so on the change sound screen, I added a Google form that you can submit to report any bugs or glitches that you find, and I can work to fix them. Or if you want, you can use the form to submit any cool features I should add. Now, the game isn't perfect, but it's awesome. This was one of the most fun and ambitious projects I've ever done, and I'm so happy to finally make it public. So I hope you guys enjoy the game. You can send it to your friends, you can compete with your friends, hell, you can have your friends voice the line. And please do feel free to tweet me or to Discord message me and send me your high scores or any cool voice lines you have, because I would love to see what you guys do with the program. And I hope this game ruins your self-esteem more than it already is. Okay, bye.